seems like every other draft year, there's always this small school beast of a safety that comes in. He is 6'8", 380 pounds to Bill Brasky. Shooting lightning out of his eyes and thunderbolts out of his arse. Yeah. A couple years ago, it was Miles Killebrew. Ended up being a backup special teams guy for the Lions, etc. But this year, it is Jeremy Chinn from Southern Illinois. Salukis. Yeah, that is right. So Vikings, frankly, could and should be in the market to draft a safety no matter what happens with Anthony Harris, because you do need some depth there. J-Ron Kearse, he's gone. Anthony Harris, TBD, as well as Harrison Smith. Love him. Hall of Famer in my book. Ain't getting any younger, right? So, again, why not take a shot on the small school wonder, Jeremy Chinn, the pride of the Salukis. Let's talk about him today. So, background, 6'3", 221 pounds. Yes, and also we'll get to his combine. Friggin' A. From Fishers, Indiana, which is a northeast suburb of Indianapolis. Came out very lightly recruited as a high school running back, eventually ended up at Southern Illinois. Was a stud. Played in 38 games, starting 35 of them for the Salukis. First team freshman All-American in 2016, 2019 as a senior. Started 10 games, 71 tackles, had a sack, 4 picks, and broke up 7 passes, which is pretty nice. 86.7 PFF grade. They specifically just went through and graded him. Here's stud. Consensus FCS All-American as well. For his career at Southern Illinois, had 243 tackles, 13 picks, 31 passes broken up, 6 forced fumbles, and a partridge in a pear tree. 3-time All-Missouri Valley Football Conference player. Was also academic All-American, which is awesome as well. Majored in exercise science. Love seeing that. So, small school kid. As always, try and bring him to the Senior Bowl, see how he does up against some higher level competition. Now, at safety, he worked both against wide receivers and tight ends and running backs. And overall, the week in Mobile, kind of a rough time, a bit of a rough go of it. So a little bit of that shine was already off. But the combine, oh my God. Oh my God, Becky, look at his metrics. It was just a joke. He came in and completely destroyed. Like we talk about Ruggs and Becton and Isaiah Simmons, those guys just completely destroying the combine. Jeremy Chinn is certainly up there as well. Insanely explosive in the jumps, ran a 4.45 40, racked up 20 reps on the bench, and just an absolute physical freak. Plus measurements, size, arm length, everything for days, right? Just like we said, that freakish size that it shows up on the field. He's yoked up, looks destructive, and he does like to throw that body around. It's very Cam Chancellor adjacent, a little bit more agile, a little bit faster as well. Also, throughout his time at Southern Illinois, played cornerback. Now, you can toss him out there in certain spots. Say there's a move tight end, be a decent matchup there. In fact, he's basically J-Ron Kearse. He's like a more athletic version of J-Ron Kearse. We'll get into that in a sec. Pretty solid pursuit speed. Not as... His tape doesn't look like he's as fast as he timed, so it's maybe one of those things where time speed versus game speed, but also phenomenal at stripping the ball, like sort of Peanut Tillman adjacent. Like anytime there's an open field runner, that mitt's coming down, or if someone stood up, popping right out of there, which I also love to see. Plus, I like the versatility. At Southern Illinois, he lined up a free safety, strong safety in the slot pretty much everywhere they need him to go. And drawbacks, the ones that are going to be pretty obvious, level of competition with the FCS, also sort of struggled at the Senior Bowl, but again, that is 1 week. But also, how's he going to react when NFL concepts are thrown at him? Is he going to be lost? Will he have a learning curve moving up from FCS? Also, like we said, time speed, it does look a little bit different than game speed. Also, injuries. Injuries are a big concern, as well the reasons why he was lightly recruited coming out of high school, as well as he missed games in 3 out of his 4 collegiate seasons, so that could be a drawback as well. Now, Lance Zierlein, NFL.com, comped him to Harrison Smith. I think that's a little bit high praise for sure. But right now, Jeremy Chinn, Southern Illinois, is just an absolute physical freak who I think needs to learn how to play some of the finer points of playing defensive back. Now, Durante Jones, Mike Zimmer help him with that for sure. And also, I think he'll greatly benefit if he doesn't play right away. So I see some mocks, some places are putting him early second round pick, which it's a little bit too rich for my blood because ideally, second round picks, especially in the defensive back area, this guy's going to contribute right away. I don't see Chinn doing that. I think specifically the J-Ron Curse role for the Vikings would be perfect for him. Play some special teams, get in, cover some tight ends in the slot, play that big nickel role. Get your feet wet a little bit and then build up and go from there as you're learning to be a pro, as you're learning to play a high level of football. I think that would be really important for him. If he has to come in and start from day one, I actually think that might be the worst thing for him. So I would love him as, let's say, an early day 3 pick if he's there in the 4th or 5th round. I don't necessarily buy some of the hype that puts him in high day 2. I mean, some places even put him in the 1st round, which... No, yes, all the athletic tools are going to be there. He is very freakish, but I think some of the other concerns, both the injuries as well as caliber of competition, I think that will draw him back to earth. And I think his equilibrium, good in English, probably about that early 4th round. So if he's there early day 3, certainly would not mind him at all. I think there's a niche. I think there's a role for him here with the Minnesota Vikings, and would absolutely adore just to have him as a long-term project. I'm sure Mike Zimmer's just like... But your thoughts, Jeremy Chinn. Also, I do not believe he is Asian, so, that doesn't work for me. But it's a no for me, dog. Yeah, but let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. You want to support the work, below something the Venmo. Please give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.